What is up this year in Apes? Think about it. We had Godzilla teaming up with Kong to take down another giant monster in March. In April, we had Dev Patel in his directorial debut beating up a bunch of bad guys while also, in some points of the film, wearing a monkey mask, and literally monkey is in the name of the title. And we have a continuation of the Planet of the Apes reboot films. Seriously, what is up with this obsession of apes? Really?
No, together, strong.
Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes is directed this time around by Wes Ball, not Matt Reeves, and written by Josh Friedman. The film stars Owen Teague, Freya Allan, Kevin Durand, Peter Macon, and William H. Macy. According to IMDb's plot synopsis, many years after the reign of Caesar, a young ape goes on a journey that will lead him to question everything he's been taught about the past and make choices that will define a future for apes and humans. After War for the Planet of the Apes, most fans, myself included, thought that this was the end of the series. We were done. It ended on a high note, making it to be one of the best modern trilogies we had. So, cut to 2019 when Disney bought 20th Century Fox and a sequel would be announced. Safe to say, people were nervous, myself included, because since the series ended on a high note, I mean, you ended so perfectly. Don't touch it. Don't ruin it. You don't want to mess up what you had going, and you ended it off so strong. Why risk making another one? Nevertheless, it was released, and having watched the film when it came out, I and so many people were completely surprised on how well this continues the legacy of the previous films. I have my issues with the film, but before that, let's just jump into the positives. The performances are great. Owen Teague is terrific as Noah, a young chimpanzee hunter. He doesn't try to replicate what Circus brought to Caesar in any way. Maybe some minor things, but for the most part, it's not a copy and paste. Instead, making it his own. I do appreciate that while Noah does have parts of Caesar, which is if you watch something like Rise of the Planet of the Apes, and you kind of see the similarities. You see the wonder and curiosity that both characters have. Teague plays Noah as an ape that doesn't know much about past, how the apes rule to be. Humans being overthrown, you don't know what happened. How did creation of the civilization of apes came to be? And has a clear black and white that I did appreciate seeing, because as somebody who sees a lot of things in black and white, I can see where there's a lot of grayness to it. And I did like seeing a character feel as if he is like, no, this is right and this is wrong, but it's much more than that. But it was great to have a character kind of be in the midst of that conflict. Freya Allan is devious as May, a young woman who joins Noah on his journey. Allan makes May seem fragile, but balances it out with intelligence and unknowingness. That's the scary part about her, is that you would think that May would be a character that was just a companion and nothing else, but Allan makes it work. She makes her seem vulnerable, but is way smarter than you think, and something that you kind of just aren't sure of. You kind of at times really just don't trust her because of how she plays about it. Both Teague and Allan are terrific together. You see how they value one another for their own purposes. Noah wanting to help May, believing how humans are being treated is wrong and terrible, while May has her own agenda by using Noah for her own methods. And I really like the dynamic that these two play, and showing the side of having a human and an ape work together. The biggest standout, and I think the one that a lot of people were talking about, is Kevin Durand as Proximus Caesar. Durand plays Proximus as a being that follows pretty much controversial figures of today. If you see how he plays out, he kind of reminisces of characters that you see people today, and how they act and how they use methods for their own personal agenda, and like their weaponry of things with regards to religion or figures. Proximus is using pretty much Caesar's teachings, and I say teachings because really, if you saw the movies and you know who Caesar is, you know that that's not what Caesar meant, or he has taken it to the extreme. to gain support to open a bunker door to access human technology for his own personal gain. That's all it is to him. It's about power. It is about feeling the dominant species over humans and other apes as well. Here, Macon is knowledgeable and witty as Raka, an orangutan who becomes an ally of Noah. Macon plays Raka as a true believer of Caesar's teaching, unlike Proximus, who uses his name for personal methods. The way in which he utilizes just having his name also with the name of the figure that started this whole civilization, I think, is what shows the method of trying to trick other apes to believe in what Caesar was when really he wasn't like that. But I really like Macon as somebody who really does value what Caesar actually means and what he is trying to spread with regards to what Caesar actually did and the things that he accomplished, but also showing the faults in those problems. Both Teague and Macon are good together. Seeing Rocket teach Noah Caesar's belief made for an engaging pair. Seeing how he shows what Caesar went through and the struggles the apes had, I thought that was a really good dynamic to bring up the past films, but in a way that made sense and to carry that legacy of Caesar on. The direction is solid. Director Wes Ball shows his appreciation and passion for not just the rebooted series, but the original series as a whole. It shows how he captures the world after 300 years. Because, yes, this movie takes place 300 years after War for the Planet of the Apes. And for him to capture, like, the feeling of, like, the original series, because this is what it's supposed to be, a rebooted version of the original series, with now it being like apes are now fully on top, humans are at the bottom, they're feral, they've regressed back to being the dawn of man. And to see how Westball captures a modern look of that future, I thought was done well, and I thought he engaged it with so much care and love. The visuals are still amazing. Every rebooted Planet of the Apes film continues to have incredible visuals, and this film continues that onward. The amount of detail that the visual effects team puts into this movie is really insane. The apes, all of them. Again, I have to give props to not just the VFX team, but just the actors as well as the background actors when they are playing the apes, bringing to life these creatures and making them believe that they are actual apes. It's always been done well in the series, and to see them continue that, I thought it was awesome. The action is intense, seeing how the apes fight differently now that they use their own technology or like repurpose technology from humans and like horses, similar to how the original films were like, was pretty awesome to see. It feels like an updated version of those original films. You know, taking the action out of those, because you could tell that those films are dated, but they still hold up in a way with its social commentary, and updating the action for this film, and the action is done very well. It is done with the sense of engagement and thrilling aspects that you would come to expect for a Planet of the Apes movie. The cinematography is gorgeous. Cinematographer Gaiola Peidos creates a wondrous and breathtaking film that captures the previous films altogether. Whether it's landscapes, beaches, deforested cities, or interiors of buildings, it's stunning. How this world looks is incredible. It's all wide shots and everything. You get to see it all on a display that is of high quality and care. And I really appreciated how Gaiola Peidos really pays attention to the environment and wonder of it all. The music is fantastic. Composer John Paisono creates a score that fits within the series' tone and atmosphere. Another great score to add to the franchise. It doesn't feel like a rehash that Michael Giacchino did in any sort of way. The music still complements the series' tone and what it's going for, and it fits super well. The story is fantastic, seeing how the series fast forwards 300 years, because in the beginning, you see how it was by the end of war to now. I mean, around the time pretty much of the original series is filled with excitement and intrigue. It truly feels like one of the original films, just within the rebooted series and updated visuals. And I mean that this does feel like the original series. If you watch the first Planet of the Apes film and you watch this, they're very similar. Like I said, just updated a bit. But it's done very well, and it shows the dedication that the people who are involved in the rebooted Planet of the Apes films continue to have. The production is amazing. The amount of care and hard work that was put into this film shows the dedication. Money was put to good use. I always give props to how these movies are put together, how they are in terms of its production. And it's just always a round of applause out of me, always amazing. It's great to see so much talent and dedication went into making these movies truly feel epic in a way. The film is a success, but there were some things that hold me back, so here are some of the negatives. Just like with War, I love Proximacy. I really do. But his screen time is minimal. I really enjoy this character, but he doesn't really show up until halfway through the movie, and yet he's still hardly used in the film. And I just feel like the marketing played him up way too much with regards to him actually, because he is still the antagonist, but not in a way that, just like with War, it takes a while to get to, and when he's in it, he's hardly in it, and it just kind of stinks because I really love the writing and I love the characters, but man oh man, do I feel like they're holding back the screen time for the villains, and I wish they hadn't, because I feel like they should just let him have the amount of screen time that he has, especially if he's showing halfway through the movie. Have him be in most, if not all, of the scenes. I also found that the pacing and runtime is noticeable this time around. Each scene does go a bit too long for me. With a runtime of 2 hours and 25 minutes, I feel like the film didn't need to be almost 2.5 hours. I think that this movie could have cut back on some scenes or shortened some scenes out, so that way it didn't feel like it was dragged out in a way. Because I feel like it being 2.5 hours, you start to kind of feel that runtime. I'm happy that this film still kept the same momentum as the other movies. This could have easily ruined the series, or this could have staled the series out, but that turned out not to be the case. As Proximus Caesar in the film says, "What a wonderful day!" So I'm giving Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes an 8 out of 10. I thoroughly enjoyed this film. I'm so glad that it turned out as well as it did. They are talking about making more. If they can keep on this dedication and this momentum going, it can work. But there is a feeling of, I am a little worried if they don't and it doesn't do well. Now that the Planet of the Apes films are over, we can now jump into the Mad Max films leading up to when I saw Furiosa. So yes, look forward to those reviews and other movie TV show reviews coming soon.